Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another meta guide. So today we have a meta guide on the Open Great League. So the Open Great League as well as the Halloween Cup begin Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently all three Open Leagues are going on the Great Ultra and Master League. But yeah, let's take a look at the Open Great League today. Not much has changed. We have one new addition, that being Toxapex. But we'll take a look and see what's going on. So for the S rank, we have the best of the best, right? We have Registeel in the lead. Of course, Registeel was nerfed. This season, the Zap Cannon only doing 66%, or not only doing 66%, but it has a 66% chance to debuff instead of a 100% guarantee with Zap Cannon. But still, I mean, Registeel is still broken. It's still a high chance, and even if it doesn't get the debuff, it's still really powerful. Does it hinder it? Yeah, a little bit, but it's still really solid, and a Pokemon I'm sure you still face off against quite often. Then we have Trevenant. Trevenant probably definitely being one of the best ghost types, one of the two best, that and Sableye, right? But, the Shadow Claw, Seed Bomb, Shadow Ball, really, really powerful Pokemon for sure. Then we have Galarian Stunfisk. Yes, Galarian Stunfisk, still as powerful as ever. They tried to nerf it once upon a time when they nerfed Rock Slide. Didn't really nerf it. I mean, it's still a powerful Pokemon and a great one. Then we have Swampert or Shadow Swampert, really strong, fast Pokemon. Gets to those Hydro Cannons so fast. It gets to 2 Hydro Cannons in 9 Mud Shots. It's absolutely insane. Then we have Medicham. So Medicham is a really bulky fighter. Definitely the best fighter, or at least one of them. Probably the top of the top. You'll see this a lot. Until they nerf Counter, you will see Medicham. You'll probably see it even after they nerf Counter, but if they nerf Counter. But still, Medicham is a great Pokemon. Then we have a great Poison type. Probably one of my favorite Pokemon, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen or Shadow Nidoqueen. Really strong, really fast with that Poison Jab, Poison Fang attack. Really strong Pokemon. Then we have the A rank. We have another great fighter. We have Scrafty. So Medicham and Scrafty, definitely the top 2 fighting type Pokemon. Both pretty bulky. I mean, Scrafty is a great one. It can do a lot of damage with counters and power up punches. It boosts itself up. You guys know the whole spiel, right? It's really, really strong. And then we have Altaria. So Altaria is a great Pokemon. They did nerf Registeel, so I guess Registeel probably sees a little bit less play than it used to, but it's still, obviously, as we talked about, Registeel still really solid. So Altaria maybe coming back a little bit. So really strong Pokemon. But it does get walled quite nicely by Steel types. I mean, there's some Steel types, that it can still do damage against some Steel types like Skarmory, but Steel types for the most part wall it. Like Bastiodon, which is next up, Bastiodon or XL Bastiodon, definitely the XL one if you have it. Really strong. You guys know Bastiodon. You guys know how good it is. Then we have Lantern. Lantern is the new addition for this season. It does have Surf. You could go with Spark or Water Gun, honestly. It really depends what your team wants to go with. But, really strong Pokemon. So Lantern's really powerful. Then Lickitung, definitely one in XL1. If you have an XL1, that Lick, Body Slam, and Power Whip is a really strong combination. It's so tanky. It really is. Lickitung is such a beast. It can really take hits for days. It's just such a strong one. Then another great Ghost type, the second great Ghost type, so Sableye and Trevenant. Sableye only has one weakness, right? It's weak to fairy type attacks. That's the only thing it's weak to, so it does have to watch out for Charm, but other than that, it's a great Pokemon with the Shadow Claw, Foul Play, and Return. Definitely recommend the Purified one. Then we have the B rank. We have the new Pokemon Toxapex. So Toxapex has Poison Jab, which is amazing. Then it has Brine, which is not really a great move, but it also has, I think is it Sludge Wave? I think it's Sludge Wave. But either way, not the best charge move there is, but at the end of the day, it's so tanky, it walls a Azumarill, and it can just take hits all day long, so it's a really great Pokemon. It wins some matchups you probably wouldn't expect. So thick. Definitely recommend. Hopefully you got a good one. Hopefully you got a good Marini, but if you did, Toxapex, I think we'll be seeing some play. Going to be interesting to see it. Then we have Diggersby. Diggersby is really, really, really thick as well. That Mudshot, Fire Punch, Earthquake, or Hyper Beam, both of which are good. But great Pokemon. Then we have Azumarill, of course. Yes, Azumarill, still really good, even though there's a lot of strong answers to Azumarill, right? We have Toxapex, we have Arachnoid, we have Nidoqueen. Azumarill still manages to find a way into the meta. That's how good it is. It's really tanky, right? especially if it's XL. Definitely recommend an XL one, but really strong. Then we have Runaricus, which is a new addition, another great ghost type in this meta. Shadow Claw, Sand, Tomb, and Shadow Ball. So a great bait move Runaricus has. So yeah, I mean, baiting really going to do well for you. I'm sure of it. I've been baited by this before, so it's definitely a solid Pokemon. Then we have Obstagoon with the Counter Knight / Cross Chop. You could also run like Gunk Shot or Hyper Beam instead of Cross Chop. But yeah, I mean, a really strong Pokemon. Alola Ninetales, I would say this is the best Charm user in the current meta. I mean, Charm, Weather Ball, Psyshock, usually the moveset. Yeah, I mean, pretty fast. I mean, it gets to Weather Ball in 6 Charms, which is actually a little bit insane. So it's a really strong Pokemon. It does get walled, of course, by the Steel and Poison types, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. Toxapex will also do well against Charm users, of course, with that Poison Jab attack. So you know, honestly, you could probably just like farm it all the way down. That's how crazy it is. But anyway, Alolan Ninetales still think it's really solid. So that's going to be the S, A, and B tier for you. And then we're going to move on to the other options. We have Arachnoid. Arachnoid is a really bulky spider with Bug Bite, right? Bug Bite, Bubble Beam, and Bug Buzz. So really tanky spider. I've used this with success as well. I like this Pokemon. Then we have Sneasler. Sneasler's a pretty interesting pick. Shadow Claw. Right, I mean, it's, you know, it has Aerial Ace. I don't think you usually run Aerial Ace. It also has X-Scissor, though. X-Scissor and then Close Combat, so pretty fast Pokemon. Definitely have the Close Combat and one of the other 2 moves, depending on your team, I guess. But then we have Mandibuzz and Umbreon, both of which are really tanky Dark-type Pokemon. Really strong Dark-type Pokemon. Then we have Skarmory. So Skarmory is a great Pokemon, of course. You see this quite often, right? You see Skarmory quite often. Then we have Beedrill or Shadow Beedrill, a really good Pokemon. Pretty good, I would say. Then we have Drapion or Shadow Drapion with that Poison Sting, right? And then you could go Aqua Tail or Sludge Bomb, and it also has Crunch. Yeah, I mean, a really spammy Pokemon with that Poison Sting attack. Then we have Wolverine. Wolverine is still really good. It was top meta before. I would argue it still is to an extent. It's still really strong. Then we have Tapu Fini, a Water Gun user. So similar, I guess similar in a way to Lantern if Lantern has Water Gun. But yeah, really strong on Water Gun, Surf, Moonblast. But it is tricky to get in the Great League, right? You have to trade for one. You have to be like a lower level account. It doesn't have to be a low level friendship, I guess. You could get it if you're best friends, but it's difficult. If you're a low level friendship, it's easy to get. I got one, luckily. And we have Defense Deoxys. No, Defense Deoxys is a great Pokemon, really tanky, but it really gets walled by the Ghost and Dark types, and there's a lot of them, right? So, and they seem to keep on adding more and more. So, Deoxys, even though it's still really good, if you get into that wrong matchup, the bad matchup, it's going to struggle, but it's still really strong. Then we have Jumpluff with the new Fairy Wind, which I think is an okay Pokemon. Really tanky, doesn't have to be XL'd, but really strong. And then we have the Cantonian Ninetales. So if you're looking for a good fire type, I think this is one of the best ones. But anyway, that's going to be the Great League. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the Solid Team options. So pretty much for the most part, the same teams as the last Great League meta guide earlier in the season. But we did do one adjustment. We have the first team, Double Ghost, Lola Ninetales, Runaricus, Trevenant. Instead of the Runaricus, you could go with Sableye or something. But, you know, I think this works. I like Runaricus, to be honest. I think it's a pretty good Pokemon. But again, Sableye works as a safe swap as well. The next team we have the traditional Swampert Skarmory Core. I put the Sableye in the middle. You could put the Drapion or the Shadow Drapion. You could put the Mandibuzz. You could put Trevenant. I mean, other Pokemon work. It doesn't have to be Sableye, but Sableye is a great safe swap. One of the best safe swaps in the Great League. So I like having that. That or Drapion. I like both of them on this team. The next team we have Lickitung with Toxapex and Medicham. Yes, so originally this team I had the Nidoqueen instead of the Toxapex, but I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and make Toxapex in the middle here. So looking like a really strong team, to be honest. I think this is a great team, of course. Lickitung is a great Pokemon to open with. You know, it has a lot of neutral matchups. It has a lot of positive matchups. It has some bad matchups, of course. You don't want a fighting type, but the good thing is if you run into a fighting lead, you kind of have 2 anti-fighters in the back. Obviously, the Toxapex is resisting counter. Medicham is resisting counter as well. So, yeah, I mean, pretty solid Pokemon. pretty solid team. I think this team could work. Probably a team I want to try with Toxapex. I got a decent Toxapex myself. Then the next team we have Galarian Stunfisk with Jump Love. I still like Jump Love being that safe swap. I think it's pretty good. And then Medicham in the bag. So yeah, again, Jump Love being that safe swap if you happen to lose the lead. Yeah, could be a pretty interesting Pokemon. Pretty interesting team. Working similar to the previous team, right? If you lose the lead to like a fighting type, you could say swap into that Jump Love, and maybe they'll bring out something else. And then you could have the Medicham for the fighter later. If it's a Medicham in the lead, it's a little bit more tricky, but not a bad team at all. Then next up we have Altaria with double water, so we have Lantern and a Azumel. You could take out maybe the Azumel for Swampert if you want to, or the Lantern for a Swampert. You could go either way. With Sludge, well, it could run Sludge Wave or Earthquake Swampert, but yeah, I mean, pretty interesting, pretty powerful team as well. Of course, the backline loses to Grass, so Altaria dominates Grass types. So if you happen to run into a Grass type, there you go. And then the next team, I believe this team was created by Wallowa. He's not playing, unfortunately, anymore, but we're making content. But, it's still a good team. Lickitung double fighter, of course. So you can say swap. If you don't win the lead, say swap into that Surfetch, lure out, I don't know, it could be the Azumel if they happen to have one, which Surfetch actually beats with Leaf Blade. So yeah, I mean, a powerful team, really strong, and yeah, these are really interesting Pokemon. I'm going to see if I can build other teams with Toxapex, because I do want to feature Toxapex, and I definitely probably will try out the Lickitung Toxapex Medicham team, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, let me know what team you plan on running for the Great League, or will you be playing in the Halloween Cup? I will... Actually, you know what? I probably will be playing in the Halloween Cup, to be honest with you. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.